Hi, it's Side-Eye, and I just realized, despite doing this whole YouTube thing for a couple years now, I don't think I've actually properly introduced myself yet. You see, I go by Side-Eye. Yes, it's spelled weird and it doesn't really make sense as a proper noun, just go with it. And I love art in pretty much all forms, but especially video games. I like analyzing things and seeing why they either work or don't. And I especially like talking about pieces of art that particularly moved me or influenced my life in some way. And what a better way to do that than talk about my top 10 most defining games of all time. That's still a genre of video people do, right? Yeah? No? Look, man, I'm trying. So, I chose the 10 games that I think best represent my particular taste in video games, as well as the person that I am today. A dumbass geek. Now, I have a lot to say about these games, considering how much they mean to me, so you best sit there and listen. Cancel all the rest of your plans for the week, grab a couple of empty bottles, and brace yourself, because this video is going to be 4 hours minimum. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and make this a multi-part series. Oh!
Side-Eye, I hereby revoke your ability to talk about video games for an excruciating amount of time.
Oh, why does this shit happen every other video?
As the living personification of the YouTube algorithm, I shall enforce a limit of 60 seconds per game on the list, so that this video may get better viewer retention.
What? That's not nearly enough time, especially considering how much these games mean to me. Besides, I thought long-winded videos were good for the algorithm.
That was last week, but for no reason in particular, I changed the rules with no heads up. I'm very fickle. Anyway, now start the list. People hate drawn-out skits in gaming videos.
Okay, can I at least do one of my signature preambles?
I shall allow it, but make it quick.
Yes! Alright, since I'm apparently under a time crunch, I'll make this fast. So, I went through my extensive list of each of my favorite games and chose ones that I thought had a significant impact on my life. Now, what exactly that means, I'll get into more detail in the list proper, but basically, it's titles that either formed or changed my taste in games in a noticeable way. I tried to get as wide of a genre spread as I could, but I had to make a lot of tough cuts, so I chose importance over variety when it came to this list. This is not simply a list of my favorite top 10 games of all time, or whatever. These are the games that defined me. And, forewarning, all of these games are titles from either my child or adolescence, when I was at my most impressionable. So, by that nature, some entire franchises had to be omitted. For example, I love the Resident Evil franchise, but none of those games made the list, since my taste was pretty much fully formed once I got to them. So, if you're asking where insert beloved franchise / genre here is, that's more than likely the reasoning. As far as I'm concerned, this list is pretty much set in stone. While I'm not counting out the possibility that some game will come along and open my third eye to a whole new echelon of gaming, me being 26 whole years old at the time of making this video makes me skeptical that that's ever gonna happen. I'm jaded. Oh, and one final note. These games are roughly ordered by level of importance, but all of them hold an equal amount of weight to me in my heart.
Time's up.
Ah, you fuck!
No clear cursing in the first few minutes. Gonna have to bleep that.
Whatever, let's just get this shit over with. Let's see, what's first on the list? Oh, well, that's a no-brainer. Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This is one of, if not straight up, the first game I ever remember playing. I must have only been like 3 or 4 years old. Now, that alone would put it on this list, but there's a couple of other reasons I think Sonic 2 deserves its place here. For one, it introduced me to 2D platformers at a very early age, still one of my favorite genres. It made me a Sonic fan for life, for better or worse, and got me interested in the concept of cool characters, something I would continue to value well past the socially accepted age. Also, I just have very nostalgic memories attached to it. It's one of the only games I distinctly remember playing on a CRT. I can vividly recall the cheap plug-and-play console I played it on, and whenever I hear the soundtrack, it sends me back to a much simpler time in my life. How could it not be here? Though, I never really got past Chemical Plant as a kid. Boom! Crushed it. Take that, evil personification of the YouTube algorithm. I literally still have the corpse of the last one, dickhead. What makes you think you're gonna be anything different?
Stalling.
Alright, whatever. Let's see. Next is... something funky. That's right, coming straight from my birth year, it's Jet Set Radio! Alright, so I may or may not be planning out a project where I'll have a chance to talk about what this game means to me in more depth, so for now I'll give you the truncated version. So, first off, this is my favorite art style of all time. The mix of graffiti, hip-hop culture, anime, and a splash of Dreamcast charm created a concoction that blew my mind as an early teenager. There's a reason you still see this game homage to this day. It's an absolutely timeless art style. And oh god, the soundtrack. Hideki Nakanuma and collaborators made what is probably the most influential video game OST to me personally. Without it, I don't think I would have gotten into rap music, my favorite genre by the way, nearly as much as I did. And yes, the gameplay isn't perfect, but I would say that aspect had an effect on me as well. Jet Set Radio's clunky controls made me a lot more tolerant of games with flaws, something I would definitely carry forward. So is that why the Scarlet and Violet videos didn't do well? They were too long-winded? I thought the algorithm liked long videos.
No telling.
You're useless. Anyway, next up. I mean, come on. Mario 64. Now, as a card-carrying zoomer, I gotta admit up front that I'm more familiar with the DS version, but I decided to not split hairs and just put the original here, since I also played that version a lot. There's not anything else I could say that hasn't also been said about Mario 64 and its impact on gaming, so I'll jump straight to the personal stuff. This is the game that made me fall in love with exploring a 3D environment. My favorite aspect of this game was never the controls or platforming itself. It was all the small secrets sprinkled throughout the game. It led to me spending endless nights scratching at every corner of these levels. The game also familiarized me with 3D environments and 3D platformers in general, another one of my favorite genres. And I think I'm running out of time, but I would just like to say that the rumors and hoaxes surrounding this game were also very influential to me getting interested in online content at a very early age, and
Time's up.
Oh god damn it. That was tough. But I think I got the important stuff out. Let's see what's next. Well, there's definitely a lot more on-screen child death in this one compared to Mario 64. Only slightly. The Binding of Isaac. Rebirth specifically. I started with the original Flash version, but Rebirth is just better and more fleshed out. This is the roguelike as far as I'm concerned. To me, the roguelike elements are designed perfectly. I love starting from scratch every time and seeing where the run is going to take me from there. The randomness of the items made me feel such a sense of discovery as well. The hard as hell game design made me so determined to beat this game over and over as a teenager. Isaac's early game sucks, but late game Isaac is so good, pretty much no other roguelike after has come close to matching it. It also made me fall in love with Edmund McMillen's art style and humor. I always enjoyed how gross and morose this game is. It also has infinite replayability. I'll more than likely be playing Isaac till the day I die.
Nah, it's different this
Alright,
time.
man. Sure.
Last
Whatever.
time the video
Whatever
got
you say,
taken
man.
over by something
Okay.
you created.
Yep.
I'm more of an
Sure.
omniscient
Alright, bro.
being
Alright.
kind of
I get
thing.
it. Yep.
Not the same at all.
Fucking random force taking over the video. I swear to God, I'm never doing this gimmick again. Anyway, we're moving on to the backside of the TV. Persona 4, the original on the PS2. I've yet to play through Golden. This is probably the most time and place game I've ever played. I did my first run through of P4 during an idyllic summer in a very transitional time of my life, and it helped me immensely during a period where I didn't really know where life was going. And for that alone, this game will always have a place in my heart. Just everything about this game takes me back to that time. The music, the characters, the small PS2 environments. I just overall love the small town vibe that P4 has. It'll always remain my favorite in the series. I also gotta credit this game for introducing me to the Mega 10 series in general, which is one of my favorite JRPG franchises, hands down. The main culprit remains one of my favorite twist antagonists of all time. They suck so much. I also played this game basically side by side with the Giant Bomb playthrough, which is another great memory attached to it. You know, I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. 60 seconds wasn't really the limitation that I thought it was gonna be.
Look at the last 5 games on the list.
Oh, okay, let me see that. You motherfucker! Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Oh boy, where to even start. So, this is the game that got me interested in fighting games on a deeper level. I remember very vividly where I was when I first pulled off a string of parries. I don't think anything in any other game will ever be nearly as satisfying. The hip-hop predominant aesthetic of Third Strike has always been extremely my shit. Absolutely legendary soundtrack. The CD I own for it is my most prized possession. The entire marketing and iconography of Third Strike, revolving around Chun-Li, my favorite character of all time, also most definitely didn't hurt. Beautiful pixel art, Capcom's artists and designers firing on all cylinders, just the best fighting game to fire up at any given moment. I will never not have fun playing Third Strike. I still suck ass at this game though. Okay, that was a bit of a challenge, but I still pulled through. You won't beat me yet. Really? Mm-hmm. Guess who? Pokemon Platinum. So, if you're a follower of this channel, you may know that I have a teeny tiny bit of affection for this series. So, it was hard to choose just one Pokemon game, but I landed on Platinum. This game holds the record for the most I've ever replayed a game in my life. At a time where my family could not afford much, and didn't have many games I actually owned, Platinum held me down for a good few years. I could always rely on Platinum if I was between rentals for my DS or Wii. As for the game itself, I've already gone into detail on why Gen 4 means so much to me in my first video. Love Sinnoh and everything in it. Cynthia is one of the most memorable final bosses in history, maybe the best starter trio in the series, tons of post-game content, all that. It was also here where I got really interested in team building and making my own little stories with my Pokemon, which remains my favorite aspect of the franchise to this day. You're a motherfucker.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah, let's just move on. Everyone remembers their first. Yep, Dark Souls. Man, where to even begin? So, this was my first Souls game, and one I just kind of fell into on a whim. It was a game I picked up at a Steam sale and played on my shitty 2013 era laptop, not expecting to really get into much. And little did I know that Dark Souls 1 would become one of the most formative experiences with media in my entire life. To this day, I still think this is the best world FromSoft ever cooked up. I love the interconnectivity of it all. I became so intimately familiar with the environment, I could run through some of these areas in my sleep. There's something to the desolation of DS1 that I've never quite seen replicated in any other game. And then we get to the mechanics, another eye-opener for me. To me, Dark Souls is less hard per se, it's more that this game was designed in an era where games were becoming deathly afraid of not holding the player's hand at all times. And playing this game at the time was so refreshing to me. Just overall, one of my favorite things of all time. And a first playthrough experience I'm still chasing the wanderlust of to this day. Ha! Can I hear buzzer beater? I can't wait to never see your ass again.
You use YouTube every day.
Yeah, I'm at this manifestation or vision of it. You know what I mean.
Stalling again.
Whatever, there's only 2 games left. How hard can it be? Look, I know I've done this bit multiple times, but genuinely, how am I supposed to do this? Nier Automata. Let me tell you, this game absolutely blew the mind of a 17-year-old side-eye. So, prior to me playing Automata, I was not familiar with Yoko Taro's game and the tricks he likes to put into his work. So, me as a teenager expecting another wild platinum character action game was not prepared for what this game actually was. To put it very bluntly, Automata taught me so much about games as a medium, and how games can use interactivity to tell a story no other medium can. There's just so many things I had not seen done in any other piece of media up until then. The multiple endings, the fourth wall breaking, the mechanics that are frustrating on purpose. This game was foundational in showing me just what games can be, especially at this scale. This wasn't some experimental indie game. It was a big project put out by a major publisher that took such a swing that I couldn't not respect it for that alone. To this day, it has perhaps my favorite final act ever. The characters, the world, the soundtrack, the overall aesthetic, the bits of odd humor sprinkled throughout the game. Just so much about Nier Automata that I love that I cannot begin to put it all into 60 seconds. So I really hope it came across just how much this game means to me.
Time's up.
Oh god. I don't think I possibly could have gone faster than that.
You've done surprisingly well, Side-Eye. Perhaps I was too hasty with my judgment, and you can actually make a salient point without making the video hours long.
You know I've made short videos in the past, right?
In any case, I will permit you 30 seconds to go through your honorable mentions for this list.
You know, for someone who's focused on pacing, you sure as hell talk slow, but thanks, I guess. Alright, since I don't have much time to go through each of the games I considered for this list, I'm having them scroll by on the side here. But I would like to highlight a few that just barely missed the list proper. It's a shame that I wasn't able to talk about the late night multiplayer chaos of Smash Brawl, the high-flying character action bliss of DMC5, the quaintish calmness of Cave Story, the fast-paced flashiness of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, or the government-mandated 3 years of my life that Minecraft took over in my early adolescence. Okay, there's only one game left. You know, I was really loathing your presence here today, but I think you did teach me something important here today. Maybe brevity really is the soul of wit. Maybe every video doesn't have to be this hours-long big takedown or analysis of a certain game. Maybe sometimes I could just casually talk about the games I like here in a more short-form and casual manner. So, for that, thank you. Still fuck you for taking over the video without my permission, though.
And you, Two-Eye, Side-Eye. You have proven yourself to me, and then some. I had you pegged as another long video essay merchant with nothing of substance to say. But I see now that I was wrong, and that you're a worthy creator in your own right.
Oh, that means a lot to me, I think. Okay, I got this. Now it's time to talk about my most influential game of all time. A game where 9 sweaty men yell and shoot at each other. Yes, Team Fortress 2, my most played video game of all time. This is, without a doubt, the biggest sense of community I've ever gotten from one single game. This was my life for a good half-decade. TF2 was there in some of my most formative years, and got me through a lot of tough times as a teenager. I love the cartoony art style, it's goddamn timeless. The characters, to this day, are the most expressive and distinct rogues gallery in all of gaming. Each of them are so memorable. On the mechanical side, TF2 introduced me to the world of advanced first-person techniques. Rocket jumping is still one of my favorite things of all time. But most importantly, it got me engaged in online content creations in such a big way. I would not be nearly as online as I am today if not for TF2. Now, whether or not that's a good thing is debatable, but it sure is the most impact a game has ever had on me, in that my life would be so different if not for TF2. And there it is, each of my 10 most defining games of all time, with time to spare too, and I couldn't have done it without the help of my friend here, the YouTube algorithm. Where is it? It's gone. Oh, so that's what they meant by take once a day orally with food. I thought that was just the doctor's name.